I always believed love meant endurance. I believed if I stayed quiet, if I gave more, if I bent a little further, love would stay. "I'm Emily Carter," I used to say proudly. Now I whispered my name like it needed permission. "Why are you always so quiet?" Daniel asked one night, not looking up from his phone. "I'm just tired," I said. He sighed. "You're boring when you're like this." I smiled anyway. "I'll do better." I had been with Daniel Reed for 6 years. 6 years of learning his moods, his silences, his disappointment. I told myself sacrifice was love. When he forgot dates, I forgave. When he criticized my clothes, I changed. "You don't have to try so hard," he said once. "I want to," I replied. At work, my friend asked, "Are you happy?" "Yes," I said too fast. That night, Daniel said, "Other women talk more. They're fun." My chest tightened. "Do you want someone else?" He laughed. "Don't be dramatic." I swallowed the fear. "Okay." Small humiliations became normal. When he showed up late, I waited. When he raised his voice, I apologized. I thought patience was strength. My sister Sophia noticed everything. She sat beside me on the couch, warm and familiar. "You look tired," she said softly. "I'm fine," I told her. "You give too much," she whispered. I smiled. "That's what love is." She hesitated. "Just don't lose yourself." I trusted her completely. She was my younger sister, my blood. When she hugged me, I felt safe. One evening, Daniel snapped, "Why can't you be more interesting?" I laughed nervously. "What do you want me to do?" He looked at me then, eyes cold. "Sometimes I think anyone could replace you." The word hit me, sharp and quiet. Replaceable. I felt small, but I nodded. "If that's how you feel, I'll try harder." He shrugged. "See? That's what I mean." Later, I told Sophia. He didn't mean it. She frowned. "Words matter, Emily." "He loves me," I insisted. She didn't argue. She just held my hand. The next day at work, my phone buzzed. Daniel's name lit the screen. "Come home early," he said. "Why?" I asked. "Just do it," he replied. His voice was rushed, tight. "Is something wrong?" "No," he said quickly. "Just come." The call ended. I stared at my phone, my stomach sinking. For the first time, patience felt like fear. Something was wrong. I just didn't know yet how much it would destroy me that I came home early because my chest felt tight. "I'm outside," I texted Daniel. No reply. The apartment door was unlocked. That should have warned me. "Daniel?" I called. Silence answered. I walked toward the bedroom, my steps slow, my heart loud. I pushed the door open. The world stopped. Daniel was on the bed. Sophia was there too. My sister. My blood. The sheet was twisted around them, like a lie. "What is this?" I whispered. Sophia screamed first. "Emily, wait, please." She scrambled to sit up, pulling the sheet to her chest. Her eyes were wet already. Mine were dry. Daniel didn't move. He just looked at me. "You weren't supposed to be home." I laughed, sharp and broken. "That's what you say?" "It's not what it looks like," Sophia cried. "I swear." I stared at her. "Then tell me what it is." She shook her head. "I didn't mean for this to happen." Daniel finally spoke again. "It just happened." Those words hit me harder than shouting. "It just happened," I repeated. "You fell into my sister by accident." "Don't twist it," he said. "You're being dramatic." My legs felt weak. I grabbed the doorframe. "How long?" I asked. Sophia sobbed. "Emily, I'm sorry. I never wanted to hurt you." I looked at Daniel. "How long?" He exhaled like I was annoying him. "A while." "A while," I echoed. My voice sounded far away. "And you let me sit with you at dinner. You let me talk about our future." "You're acting like I planned to hurt you," he snapped. "Things change." I shook my head slowly. "With my sister?" Sophia reached for me. "Please don't hate me." I stepped back. "Don't touch me." Daniel stood up then, not ashamed, just irritated. "You always make things bigger than they are." I laughed again, tears finally burning my eyes. This is big. This is my life. He crossed his arms. You weren't giving me what I needed. I stared at him. So you took her? It wasn't about you, he said. You're too quiet, too safe. Sophia whispered. I didn't plan it. I looked at her. You listened when I cried to you. She covered her face. I know. My heart cracked open. You watched me love him. Daniel rolled his eyes.
See?
This is why I didn't tell you. Because you're a coward, I said softly. He laughed. Because you can't handle the truth. I felt something die inside me. Say it, I said. Say you're sorry. He didn't. Instead, he said the words that ruined me. You're not special, Emily. Anyone could replace you. I waited until Daniel was gone before I faced Sophia. Sit down, I said. My voice surprised me. It was calm. Too calm. She sat on the edge of the bed, twisting her fingers. Emily, I didn't know how to tell you, she whispered. Tell me what? I asked. That you wanted my life? Her eyes filled. It's not like that. Then say it clearly, I said. Say why. She took a shaky breath. I've always been second. You were the good one. The smart one. Mom trusted you. Dad praised you. She laughed bitterly. Even Daniel looked at you like you were enough. I stared at her. So you took him to feel chosen? She nodded. He saw me. He wanted me. Did you ever think about me? I asked. She looked away. I thought you'd be fine. You're strong. The words burned. You watched me cry to you, I said. You held my hand. I know, she whispered. I hated myself. Not enough to stop, I said. She flinched. He chose me. That sentence cut deeper than anything Daniel said. So, this wasn't an accident. No, she admitted. It wasn't. I stood there, shaking. Blood betrayal hurts deeper than love, I said quietly. The door opened behind us. What's going on? My mother asked. I turned. Ask your daughter. Sophia cried louder. I'm sorry, Mom. My father sighed. Emily, don't make this worse. Worse. I repeated. She slept with my boyfriend. My mother frowned. Families forgive. I laughed hollow. So that's it. My father said, let it go for family peace. I felt smaller with every word. So I should swallow it. My mother avoided my eyes. You're older. Be mature. I nodded slowly. I see. Sophia reached for me again. Please don't leave. I stepped back. You already left me. My father said, where will you go? I don't know, I said. Somewhere I'm not invisible. My mother's voice softened. Emily, you're breaking the family. I shook my head. You broke me first. No one stopped me as I packed a bag. No one followed me to the door. I paused, hoping someone would say my name. Silence answered. Outside, the air felt cold. I hugged myself. Who am I without them? I whispered. I walked away with nothing but my pride barely intact, questioning my worth with every step. Daniel stood by the door like I was a stranger. You need to leave, he said. His voice was flat, almost bored. This is my home too, I said. I paid for half of it. He shrugged. My name's on a lease. I laughed weakly. So that's it. You're being dramatic, he replied. Let's not make a scene. I stared at him. You cheated on me with my sister. And you're still here, he said. Pack your things. My hands shook as I walked to the bedroom. I opened drawers, pulling clothes out blindly. 6 years, I whispered. 6 years, and this is how it ends. Don't start, Daniel called. You always do this. I stuffed memories into a suitcase. Photos. Old gifts. A sweater he once said looked good on me. Did you ever love me? I asked. He didn't answer. I dragged the suitcase to the door. Say something, I begged. He looked at his phone. Take what you need and go. I nodded slowly. I see. Outside, rain poured down like the sky was breaking with me. I stood there, soaked numb. Where do I go now? I whispered. I called Lena. Can I come over? My voice cracked. Emily, she said. What happened? I have nowhere else, I said. Come, she replied. My couch is yours. I walked through the rain until my legs hurt. When Lena opened the door, she didn't ask questions. She just hugged me. You're safe here, she said. I collapsed onto the couch. I lost everything, I whispered. She sat beside me. You didn't lose yourself. I shook my head. I don't know who I am anymore. She squeezed my hand. Rest. Later, alone in the dark, I scrolled through old messages. I miss you, Daniel had once written. You're my home. I laughed quietly. Was I really that easy to replace? I asked the ceiling. My chest felt heavy. My eyes burned. Maybe I wasn't enough, I whispered. Maybe I deserve this. The room spun. My phone slipped from my hand. I tried to stand, but my legs failed. The last thing I felt was the floor rushing toward me, cold and final, as my old life disappeared completely. I woke up to white walls and beeping machines. My chest ached, and my head throbbed. I blinked, confused. Where? I whispered. A nurse appeared. You're awake. Don't move too fast. I tried to sit up, but the bed felt wrong. The sheets, the room, even the smell, it wasn't my hospital. My eyes widened. This isn't now, I murmured. I swung my legs over the side. My room. My old room. Everything was smaller, simpler. My posters were different. My desk had that old lamp I'd broken years ago. Panic clawed at me. No, this isn't real. I grabbed my phone. The date was 7 years ago. I checked contacts. Lena's number was there. Okay, think, I whispered. I called her. Hey, Lena, it's me. There was a pause. Emily? Which Emily? You'll understand later, I said, voice shaking. What happened? She asked. I swallowed. I need to meet you. Can you help me? I guess, yeah. Meet at the park. Thank you, I whispered, hanging up. I sank onto the bed, staring at my hands. They were younger, smooth, untouched by betrayal, pain, or heartbreak. I could feel my pulse, the promise of life stretching ahead. I had been given a second chance. Memories flooded me. The apartment, Daniel, Sophia, the betrayal, the heartbreak, the cold rain. I shivered. I survived. I died and I woke up here. Tears threatened. But I clenched my fists. I will never beg again. Never for love. Never for approval. I will be stronger. Smarter. Better. I looked around the room. My old life was here, but untouched. Every mistake, every loss, every humiliation gone. I could rewrite my story. I whispered to myself, barely audible. This is my chance. I won't waste it. I stood, feeling the weight of rebirth settle on my shoulders. My heart pounded with fear, but also hope. I would live differently this time. I would demand respect. I would choose power over heartbreak. I pulled the covers off, feeling the crisp sheets against my skin. This was not a dream. I had been given a gift. And this time, I would take nothing for granted. I glanced at the clock. It's real. It's really real. And in that moment, I promised myself everything would change. I would never be replaceable. Not ever did I decide to stay away from Daniel before he could ruin me again. I ignored his calls. I didn't respond to his texts. When he showed up at my favorite cafe, I smiled politely, but didn't sit. Emily, can we talk? He asked. I'm busy, I said. He frowned. Why are you avoiding me? I'm not avoiding anyone. I lied smoothly. You're different, he said, voice low. You used to care. I do care, I replied, but not in the way you want. He scowled. You think you're better than me now? I shook my head. I think I know what I deserve. I focused on work instead. Harrison Group had an internship open and I applied immediately. When I walked into the office on my first day, I met Victor Hale, a senior executive with sharp eyes and calm energy. Emily Carter? He asked. Yes, I said, extending my hand. He smiled slightly. Welcome. I've heard good things. Thank you, I said, keeping my tone professional. He glanced at my resume. You have potential. Don't waste it. I won't, I replied, and I meant it. Daniel tried calling again. I ignored him. I learned silence was power. He stopped showing up, his arrogance fading slightly, though I heard rumors of his frustration. At Harrison, I met colleagues who valued skill over charm. I contributed to meetings. I spoke up when I had ideas. Victor noticed. You think strategically, he said. Years of practice, I said lightly, letting the words land without explanation. He nodded. Good. Don't let anyone undermine that. I realized for the first time that I could be admired for who I am, not who I gave myself to. I didn't need validation from someone who didn't respect me. Later, I received an email from Daniel, all charm and excuses. I deleted it without reading. Is that wise? A colleague asked. I'm done explaining myself, I said. Victor smiled subtly from across the room. Smart choice. I leaned back in my chair, feeling a calm I hadn't known in years. No guilt, no fear, no pleading. This time, I was in control. For the first time, I realized I didn't need love to survive. I needed power, and I was finally ready to claim it. Daniel's messages stopped being arrogant. They turned desperate. Emily, I need to see you. Let's talk. I ignored him. He called twice a day, but I didn't answer. His arrogance was cracking. I could feel it. Sophia tried to mimic me. She changed her hair, her style, even her tone when she spoke to him. I overheard her complaining. He's not responding. I smiled quietly. I didn't need to intervene. Let her struggle. At work, I focused on Harrison Group. Meetings, deadlines, presentations, I gave everything. Victor Hale noticed. You're improving fast, he said. Thanks, I replied. I just want to do my best. You've got more than talent, he said. You've got discipline. That counts for more than charm. I nodded. I wanted respect, not pity. Rumors reached me. Daniel had made poor decisions at his firm. He was skipping meetings, getting involved with other women, losing clients. I felt a small flicker of satisfaction, but quickly stifled it. Revenge was not my goal. Sophia called me one night. Emily, I messed up. He doesn't listen to me. I don't know what to do. You chose your path, I said calmly. You have to live with it. Her silence spoke volumes. I kept excelling at work. Promotions, praise, recognition. I absorbed it without showing off. Victor offered guidance, advice, but never held my hand. I was learning independence. Daniel tried showing up at the office once. I refused to meet him. He looked shocked as I walked past him in the lobby, head high, eyes steady. I felt nothing but clarity. Late nights, I sat at my desk, reflecting. I could crush him if I wanted. I could make him beg. But that would be petty. Silence is stronger. I checked emails. Daniel's name appeared only in gossip. A client left because of him. Another scandal surfaced. Karma was quietly at work. I thought about texting Lena, but didn't. I wanted this to be mine, my victory, not shared, not validated. Sophia tried again. Emily, can we talk? I'm busy, I said. Please, she begged. I'll talk when you understand what responsibility is, I replied. I watched from a distance as the consequences unfolded. No grand gestures. No confrontation. Just quiet observation. I whispered to myself, this is better than revenge. This is proof I can rise without touching him. For the first time, I felt control, not power taken by anger but earned by patience. The world shifted subtly, and I was standing taller than ever before. I walked into the Harrison Group boardroom, my heels clicking against the polished floor. Years of work had led to this moment. I was CEO now. I sat at the head of the table, papers in front of me, heart steady, mind sharp. Morning, everyone, I said, voice firm. Let's start with updates. Colleagues reported quarterly progress, projections, challenges. I listened, asked questions, offered guidance. My confidence felt natural, not forced. No one dared interrupt me. I was in control. Victor watched quietly from the side, giving a small, approving nod. I caught his eye. Everything going smoothly? He asked softly. Yes, I said. Thanks. Then HR handed me a file. I glanced at it, expecting a routine resume. My heart skipped. Daniel Reed. His name stared back at me. I blinked, thinking it must be a mistake. Daniel Reed applied? I asked aloud. Yes, through a recruiter, HR replied nervously. They didn't know it's your company. I leaned back in my chair, studying the papers. His skills, his experience, adequate. Nothing extraordinary. My lips curved into a small smile. The power had shifted. Victor murmured. Interesting. Yes, I said. Schedule the interview. HR hesitated. Are you sure? I'm sure, I said. Treat it like any other candidate. He looked shocked but nodded. Right away. I called my assistant. Ensure all preparations are done. I want a professional environment. Yes, Emily, she said. As I signed off on the interview, I thought of the years I'd spent rebuilding myself. Every late night, every sacrifice, every struggle, it led here. Daniel had no idea the woman he abandoned would be the one deciding his fate. Victor leaned closer. Are you worried about seeing him? No, I said firmly. I'm curious, that's all. He smirked. Curiosity can be powerful. I glanced at my reflection in the glossy table surface. Strong, composed, untouchable. I no longer feared confrontation. Daniel stepping into my world wouldn't break me. My mind raced through the possibilities. Would he beg? Would he recognize me? Would arrogance blind him? Emily, HR said softly. I'll schedule it. Good. I replied calm. Everything else moves forward as planned. I looked around the boardroom. My colleagues, my mentors, my empire, it was mine. I whispered to myself, this time, I control everything. The thrill of power coursed through me, steady and satisfying. I was no longer the girl who begged for love. I was the woman who dictated her fate. And Daniel would learn that soon enough. The door opened and he stepped in. Daniel Reed. My stomach didn't twist. My hands didn't shake. But his eyes, those arrogant, familiar eyes, widened as he froze. Emily. His voice cracked, unsure. I leaned back in my chair, calm, composed. Hello, Daniel. Please have a seat. He swallowed hard. I didn't expect. You didn't expect me to be in charge? I asked, voice steady. He glanced around, noticing the boardroom, the polished nameplate on my desk, the confident posture I held. I see you've done well. Thank you, I said lightly. I've worked hard. He ran a hand through his hair. I'm sorry. Don't, I interrupted. I don't need apologies. But Emily, you abandoned me, I said softly. You cheated and you lied. You hurt me, and you think an apology fixes that. He hesitated. I made mistakes. Yes, you did, I said. And now you're here asking for a chance. I can prove I've changed. I've learned. I studied him. The arrogance I remembered was still there, buried beneath guilt. Daniel, you haven't changed. You want control, not growth. He flinched. I care now. I smiled faintly. Caring after destroying someone doesn't erase the past. He looked down, conflicted. Please, just give me one opportunity. I shook my head. You're not what we're looking for. His jaw tightened. Emily, I raised a hand, stopping him. No. This isn't about revenge. I'm not here to punish you. I'm here to decide what belongs in my company, and you do not. He stepped back, silent, speechless. His confidence was gone, replaced by the realization that the girl he thought replaceable had become untouchable. I felt a quiet satisfaction, not from his fall but from my composure. I had taken my power, without cruelty, without begging for recognition. You'll understand one day, he whispered, almost to himself. Perhaps, I said softly, my gaze steady. But that day is not today. He left the room, shoulders tense, eyes avoiding mine. I exhaled slowly. For the first time, I truly felt free. I didn't need to fight him. I didn't need to hurt him. Silence, patience, and self-respect had already won. I sat back, watching the empty doorway, and whispered to myself, "This is victory." HR knocked and entered. "Emily, we've scheduled Daniel's final interview," she said. "Cancel it," I replied calmly. "Are you sure?" she asked, hesitating. "Yes," I said firmly. "He's not suitable for this company. Prepare the rejection letter." She nodded and left. I leaned back in my chair, thinking of Daniel. No anger. No desire for revenge. Just clarity. Later, Lena called. "Hey, stranger. Are you free tonight?" "I am," I said, smiling. "I need to talk to someone who remembers me before all this." We met at her apartment. She poured tea as I sank into the couch. "You look different," she said softly. "I am different," I admitted. "I don't waste energy on people who don't respect me anymore." Lena smiled. "I've never seen you this calm. The untouchable." "Not untouchable," I said. "In control. That's the difference." She nodded. "So, Daniel?" I shrugged lightly. HR handled him. He won't be joining Harrison. That's all I need to know. "Do you feel satisfied?" she asked. "No," I said firmly. "Satisfaction implies revenge. I don't want that. I just healed." She looked at me in awe. "You really changed everything. From being broken to this." "I had to," I said. "Years of patience, focus, and self-respect. I learned I don't need anyone's validation. Not Daniel's. Not Sophia's. Not even my family's." "I remember the old Emily," Lena whispered. "The one who cried for others. You're incredible now." I smiled, a small, quiet smile. It's not about being incredible. It's about surviving, growing, choosing myself over heartbreak every single time. We sat in silence for a moment. Rain tapped the window outside. I felt a strange calm, like a weight had lifted. "Do you ever think about him?" Lena asked. "Sometimes," I admitted. "But it's not longing. It's acknowledgement that he belongs to my past, not my present." She reached out. "You're free, Emily." "Yes," I said. And for the first time, I believe it. I left her apartment that night feeling lighter. Not because Daniel had fallen, but because I had risen. Healing, not revenge, was my triumph. I had finally reclaimed my life. I was at my apartment, reviewing reports, when my doorbell rang. I frowned. Visitors were rare. I opened the door. Sophia stood there, shoulders slumped, eyes red. "Emily, can we talk?" I hesitated. "Come in," I said cautiously, stepping aside. She sat stiffly on the couch. I messed up. I know that now." Her voice broke. "I betrayed you, Emily. I betrayed your trust, your heart, and I can't take it back." I kept my hands folded. "I know. I was jealous," she admitted, tears streaming. "You always had everything. Everyone loved you. And I wanted that too badly. I made choices I regret." I nodded slowly. "I hear you. I understand your motives, but understanding doesn't erase what happened." She sniffled. "I'm sorry. I've tried to fix things, but I see now some things can't be fixed. Not with you." "You're right," I said quietly. "I forgive you, Sophia. I won't hold this against you forever." But forgiveness isn't the same as trust. Her eyes widened. "You mean you'll never?" "I mean," I said, "our paths diverged the moment you chose him over me. Forgiving doesn't mean reconnecting. It means I release the weight of your choices. I move forward, and you move forward separately." She nodded slowly, tears falling freely. I understand. I just wanted you to know I regret it." "I hear that," I said. "And I accept your apology." Silence fell between us, heavy but calm. I realized I no longer felt pain at her presence. No anger, no longing. Only clarity. "I hope you find your way, Sophia," I said finally. "But not with me in the same space you once occupied." She wiped her cheeks. I hope you're happy, Emily. Truly happy. I said, standing. And I will continue to be. Without resentment. Without looking back. She stood too, nodding, a fragile smile appearing. Thank you for listening. I nodded once. Take care of yourself. When she left, I closed the door gently. My heart was calm, not hollow. Forgiveness had released me, but my boundaries remained intact. Some bridges cannot be rebuilt, and some victories come not from revenge, but from choosing peace. I walked to the window and looked out at the city lights. The night was quiet, but inside me, there was a steady pulse of strength. I had risen. I had healed. And I had finally learned the true meaning of letting go. I stood alone in my office, the city lights glittering below. Silence surrounded me, but it wasn't empty. It was full of years of pain, struggle, and triumph. I took a deep breath, letting it fill my chest. I thought of Daniel, of Sophia, of the past life where I begged for love and validation. I was never replaceable, I whispered to myself. Not then, not ever. I walked to the window and rested my hands on the glass. The reflection staring back at me wasn't the frightened girl who once cried herself to sleep. It was me, Emily Carter, strong, composed, and unshakable. I remembered Lena's words, Victor's guidance, every late night at Harrison Group. I didn't win by hurting anyone, I thought. I won by rebuilding myself, by demanding respect, by choosing me. I sat at my desk, letting the memories pass over me. Each failure, each betrayal, had been a lesson. Each heartbreak had been a step toward clarity. I no longer needed to plead, to justify, to shrink myself for anyone. I picked up a pen and wrote in my journal, I am enough. I am capable. I am worthy. The words felt heavy at first, then light. They were truth. A soft knock at the door made me glance up. Come in, I said. No one entered. I smiled to myself. I didn't need validation from anyone anymore. The world could wait for me to show it who I was. I leaned back in my chair, eyes scanning the office. Every detail reflected my journey, my persistence, my ambition, my survival. And for the first time, I felt complete. I am Emily Carter. I am my own. I am powerful. I am free. The past could whisper, but it could not dictate. The echoes of betrayal could exist, but they could not haunt. I had transformed pain into purpose. I stood and walked to the window again. My reflection looked back with quiet strength, with serenity and confidence. No one could replace me. Not Daniel. Not Sophia. Not anyone who ever doubted me. I whispered one last truth. For no one but me. I was never replaceable. And now I finally know it. I turned back to my desk, to my work, to my life. Peace settled in my chest, steady and unwavering. Quiet justice had come, not through revenge, but through resilience. I had rebuilt myself, and that was the only victory that mattered.